Hey guys, Matt Barré here with the Tom J. Krieger team. This week we have episode 34 about down payment assistance, and we've got the awesome Seanna Cormier here with Guild Mortgage to help us through, so tune in. Hi, my friends. Episode 34 of the Nitty Gritty podcast. Again, Seanna Cormier's here from Guild Mortgage to talk to us down payment assistance.
Yes.
Okay, hot topic. I love it. I love the down payment assistance. I think it's amazing for buyers to help buy the homes. Let's get right into what programs are available. Okay. Dive in. Give us your info.
So down payment assistance programs are really cool because they can provide the borrower to not even come out of pocket at all at closing. Yeah.
Love that.
So there's different programs that all have their own set of guidelines and restrictions, right? And availability. So two of my favorite that I like, especially here in Pima County, is going to be Homebuyers Solutions is probably my top one that I use most frequently.
Okay.
And then we've got the Pathway to Purchase is back right now. And that one comes and goes, so I don't want to get too much into Pathway to Purchase because it may not be around anymore.
And are these just local? Are these national? Or are they just local?
So Homebuyers Solutions is Pima County.
Okay.
Pathway to Purchase is Pima and Maricopa, some spots. It's specific to zip codes, certain zip codes. But it's across Arizona. It might be in other states as well. I don't familiarize myself too much with those ones.
Okay.
And then there's Home Plus, which is Pima and Maricopa. So there's a lot of, and there's a lot more programs out there that are either like countywide, statewide. There's government aids, there's government programs as well.
Okay. So let's dig into Pima County then. That's obviously where we are.
Yeah.
Folks, if you're listening across the country, dial in with a local lender. They'll tell you what your local down payment assistance programs are. But we're just going to focus on Pima County. So what has Pima County got for folks that are listening locally?
So same two that are my favorite, the Homebuyers Solutions and the Pathway to Purchase. There's Home Plus. There's a bunch. But those are my top two.
And then you said Home Plus was your favorite?
No, Homebuyers Solutions.
Homebuyers Solutions.
Sometimes I switch back and forth between, it depends on what they're offering. But
what day of the week it is?
Yeah. Well, Homebuyers Solutions rates are better right now. So I like them.
So let's dig on them. Homebuyers Solutions.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So Homebuyers Solutions has an option for conventional, FHA, USDA, and VA. So there is an option for all of them. And with USDA and VA, it's a grant. So the money is not, there's no repayment or time frame that it has to be. You have to keep the house. Yeah.
That's huge.
It's huge, yeah. And so it doesn't give you quite as many options with USDA and VA, but you at least if you need, even if it's just to help pay for your closing costs, it helps. So there's minimum credit score requirements. There's going to be maximum debt to income ratios. So there's going to be restrictions that are put in place then with a non-down payment assistance loan.
Okay.
But oftentimes it's not. If you're qualifying, and sometimes it can disqualify you trying to go with down payment assistance, but most of the time it's going to work out.
Okay.
So with the conventional, it's based on a percentage rate of your loan amount is what you can borrow, anywhere from 0, which is silly, but up to 6%. You can do that with conventional and FHA. And then with FHA and conventional, they're going to be a 3-year forgiven loan.
Okay.
So it's after 3 years, you're completely forgiven of that amount that was borrowed. If you sell, refinance, or move out of the house, they can recapture what's left of that amount that was borrowed for your down payment.
So, for example, if I use one of these down payment assistance programs, the program gives me $10,000 for my down payment. Mm-hmm. I obviously am paying my mortgage payment, monthly. After 3 years, I don't have, if I sell within a year to 2 years, I have to pay the program back.
And some of them are prorated, so you'll pay back what's left.
What's remaining?
So 1 year, and it'll come out of the proceeds from your sale.
Okay.
So it's not like you have to write a check unless you do. But most of the time, it's going to come out of your proceeds from the sale.
Okay. But then after 3 years, if I sell my house...
It's completely forgiven.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And there's no payment. So there's no payment plan. It's 0% interest. There's no payment plan. It's not accruing interest. It's there and it goes away.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's some of the criteria for me to qualify for down payment assistance?
So the program itself has a 640 minimum credit score.
Okay.
Ideally, you probably want to be at a 660 credit score because it's going to help with getting it approved.
So what's the standard? And so 640 credit score for down payment assistance. What's a regular credit score? Like, let's do down payment assistance conventional. What's a regular conventional credit score?
Conventional, I would steer away from conventional if you have anything less than a 700, unless you're putting a massive down payment. So if you have a large down payment, it may be worth it, but it's. And I'll always price it out. I'll put them side by side and see which one makes the most sense. And I'll make my recommendation, and then it's always the client's choice.
So really, it sounds like that you don't, for a down payment assistance, you don't have to have those highly elevated credit scores. But
it's a little bit tougher.
But it helps.
So if you go conventional and you're doing down payment assistance, you still probably want to be at like a 680.
Okay.
If we're talking about it getting that automated approval, and that it's going to want to see the higher credit score. So most of the time, FHA works best for down payment assistance.
Yeah.
And you actually get more assistance with FHA, so it kind of works out better.
Okay, so little less credit score than normally required, which is awesome. What else?
Well, with an FHA though, 600 is the minimum, or it's 580 is the minimum credit score for FHA loans outside of.
Say that again, so everybody that's listening who thinks they have a terrible credit score, just say that again, what the credit score requirement is.
So 580 is the minimum credit score for FHA loans.
Okay, my friends, if anybody's listening and you know what your credit score is and it's above 580, we can make you homeowners.
Yeah, I'd say let's try. I want to get you to a 620 because it'll be better.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
there
possible.
Is hope.
There's hope. It's possible. Yes.
Okay. That alone.
Don't make me say it again.
That alone is the nugget in this episode that you can buy a home with a credit score under 600.
For sure.
That's amazing. Okay, what else?
I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend we'll work on getting it up a little bit higher. I just want to throw that disclaimer in there.
No, that's fine.
It's better for you if your credit score is a little bit higher, but I can help with that. So then those are some of the tightest restrictions that are part of that down payment assistance program is going to be the debt to income. It does allow for manufactured homes. However, you need to have a higher credit score, and so your 680 minimum credit score, and then your debt to income ratio is also smaller.
Hey everyone, we want to interrupt this episode to let you know that we are a Keller Williams Southern Arizona franchise.
Also, we are licensed realtors practicing equal housing.
Now, let's get you back to the podcast.
So it varies.
It varies between. It's very specific.
Credit score, type of home, area, zip code.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's lots of variables in this. Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is it's money that you get to borrow that's forgiven after 3 years. So it's really great. It's a super amazing tool. And it's, like I said, can be up to 6% of the loan amount of what you get in assistance. So that can cover your down payment and your closing costs in some cases.
That's huge. That really is huge. What's your perception of when a buyer is using DPA and, I'm presenting offers to sellers who are looking at possibly multiple offers in this market? Do you think there's like a little stigmatization between I
think there is.
Their down payment assistance versus this guy's got his own money type of thing? Yeah.
I mean, but essentially it's the same.
Money's money.
Money's money. I'm telling you, they can get a loan.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. What do you care where their down payment comes from?
Yeah. And I think
what difference does it make?
I think that's so true. And I've worked with down payment assistance buyers in the past, and they've always had that little in the back of their mind. Not in my mind. I know we can buy a house,
right? But
they've always had in the back of their mind that little bit of trepidation. Like if it's a multiple offer situation, they're not going to win because they're using free money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think they don't need to be in that mindset. Like they're still a strong buyer.
Exactly. And like I said, I'll pick up the phone and I will let my listing agent know that so that way they understand, like, hey, and that way I can educate listing agents and let them know this is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
This is a good thing, or like, everything looks really strong.
Yeah. Now these in Pima County, and I know from years past, like with Pathway to Purchase when it came in, they were zip code specific.
Homebuyers Solutions is not. Pathway to Purchase is zip code specific, and Pathway to Purchase is conventional only.
Okay.
And their minimum credit score is a 640, but you really need to have like a 660, 680 for it to work, unless everything's super strong. There's so many pieces that go into it that either qualify it or don't qualify it, that it's not just a credit score. There's so many other factors. So there has to be other strengths to outweigh a 640 credit score if it's going to get approved for Pathway to Purchase.
Yeah.
But that should already be taken care of when you get this offer.
Yeah.
Period. And that's what the phone call is for. So Pathway to Purchase gives you 10% up to $20,000 in assistance.
Okay.
And that's huge. Pathway to Purchase is conventional only, like I said, through Freddie Mac, and it does not allow for manufactured homes, and it is zip code specific.
So, again, a year or so ago, probably a little longer than that, when I was working with lots of buyers who were using down payment assistance and Pathway to Purchase, they only had a limited amount of funds. And they, it was almost a case of, you've missed the boat this month for the release of funds. We've got to wait till next month, which can
There's
be
so much
impactful.
right now. It's like nobody's even using it, which I still haven't. I had one that I was trying to do, and then they ended up buying in a different zip code, so we switched back to Homebuyer Solutions. But they're not being done as much. So this money is there, and you're not going to lose it, because you're right. There was make your reservations. There was one day everybody, all of our processors would be ready at 4:00.
Oh, I know.
Just to smash through these reservations. And I was doing at least a couple a month. And now I still have not done one. And this rolled out in March. March or May.
March, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Pathway to Purchase, there is limited amount of funds. With the other solution, is there a limited amount of funds?
I mean, not that I imagine there is, but it's not the same as Pathway to Purchase.
Okay, it's not on a tight
right.
deadline.
So Pathway has allocated a certain amount of funds per month.
Yeah.
That they're releasing per month, but the reservations aren't being made, so it's just going to keep stacking up and rolling over. So a 6-month program could potentially, I think even the last one where we were making reservations left and right, lasted much longer than 6 months. So I imagine this time around it's going to be, it's going to last a little bit longer. And I think that goes back to the stigma that you were talking about, is people are concerned with it being a Pathway to Purchase transaction, or worrying that the listing agent's not going to accept the offer for some reason.
Yeah. And I think from knowing that now, that what that just tells me is there are buyers out there who want to buy, who aren't buying because, again, limited inventory, number one, they can't find the home they want to live in, but two, they may not have the reserved funds, they may not have the savings. And so those two things, they're just now sitting back and be like, now's the time that I'm not meant to be a homeowner. Yeah. Where realistically they can.
There's so many options.
They can get DPA with you. We can look at off-market properties with me, and we can make you a homeowner. So folks, if you're sat at home and you want to be a homeowner, pick up the phone. It's as simple as that, right?
So simple.
Yeah. The amount of times I've met with folks that are like, we've been thinking about buying for the last couple of years.
And
we just made the decision to move now. I'm like, why? What made you wait? Well, we didn't have the savings. We didn't know what we were going to do. Our credit scores were lower than 700. I'm
trying to pay off all my debt.
I'm like, guys, you're driving me nuts.
Let me help you.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone and speak to a professional.
And that's big. Is call the lender, start getting pre-qualified, even if it's 6 months out. Great. That's even better, because now if there is any potential issues, I have 6 months to tell you what to do to get you into the perfect condition to buy a house.
Yeah.
Or if it's 2 years, either way, whatever it is, let me help guide you, tell you what exactly to do, what not to do, and let's get you ready so that you're in the best possible buying position.
Yeah. And, I think I want to stress on that point, and I really appreciate you bringing that up, is buyers, looking to buy a home, they think they need to have all their ducks in a row before they waste your time submitting an application. I honestly, truly believe if you have the intention to build financial stability using real estate, no matter where you are or what your situation is, you should speak to a pro.
For sure.
Because you
don't
said,
even know how your ducks are supposed to be lined up in the row.
Exactly. And the thing is, like you said, if they're not lendable now, you can write a plan out for them that says, hey,
100%.
like we mentioned before, go get a credit card, put $50 of gas on it, pay it off, do that for 3 months, and then make this payment, don't make that. Like you can handhold them to get them to a point.
Very specific. Yeah.
And then within 3, 6, 12, even a couple of years time, they're at the very best position they could potentially be.
For sure.
Which, let's be real, is going to be a better position than if they just tried to do it by themselves.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or the people that are like, no, I'm not ready because I've been working on my credit. Well, how? Who told you what to do? Like, what makes you a credit expert?
I use Credit Karma.
Yeah. And Credit Karma is the worst. Credit Karma is the worst. I mean, it's great. It's a great reporting tool because it gives you accurate information that's reporting to the bureaus, but it's only showing you 2 bureaus. And the credit score is not real, guys. It's not real.
You heard it here first. Great episode. I love this. So to wrap up, if you want to buy, if you don't have the savings, if you don't have the great credit score, you can still be a homeowner here in Pima County, especially. There's multiple programs. If you want more information, reach out to Sienna. Her info is in the podcast. It's going to be on the bottom of the video. We can send you her information. I think it's just super important to have a great conversation because who knows, in 3, 6, 12 months time, you could be a homeowner.
For sure.
Which is amazing.
Easy peasy.
So easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
And that's what we're here for. We hold hands.
We hold hands, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Sienna, thank you.
Thank you.
Another great episode. I truly want to do more because I think there is so much more we can dig into.
For sure.
And there's more value we can bring to folks. But great episode. Thank you. And we'll check you out on the next episode. Thanks, guys. Hey, thank you for listening and watching the Nitty Gritty podcast here with the Tom J. Krieger team. If you are thinking about buying a home, selling a home, or even investing in real estate, please reach out to us. We are local here in Tucson, Arizona, but we are also connected to over 4,000 agents across the US. So again, looking to buy, sell, or invest in your hometown, reach out to us and let us connect you.